10 things you should do as a product manager or something like that. But what after that? How to survive and how to grow?
There was a fundamental shift of mindset that happened when I transitioned from a consultant role to a product management role.
Is if someone starting their journey, I just want you to summarize, right? Any fresher, what are the 5 things that you would recommend them?
Have those goals and make actionable points, like how to make those goals.
Now that you have given a good overview from an industry and how it should fit in, what common use cases are organization trying to solve here?
Specific centered journeys like the onboarding, the authentication experience, profile management.
How is DaVinci trying to keep up with those kind of projects, or I would say enablement going across?
Yeah, and in the very recent past, we know that there's a very, very big problem, like fraud, like what is true, what is false.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Why Not IAM podcast. Today, we have a truly inspiring guest, Saparja Dey, a confident, driven, and insightful product manager from Ping Identity. In a world where technology is evolving faster than ever, voices like Saparja's remind us not just of the innovation in our industry, but of the resilience and clarity it takes to lead with purpose. She's someone I have been looking forward to speaking with for a while now. Definitely, it has taken almost a year, but here we are, talking to a woman whose journey you will find as motivating as it is meaningful. We have dived into her career path as a product manager, the unique energy and culture at Ping Identity India, and her work with DaVinci. She is the current product manager for DaVinci, which is Ping's powerful no-code orchestration platform. Saparja shares hard-earned insights about breaking into product roles, building influence, and owning your voice in a competitive space. Whether you are starting your career, switching lanes, or just curious about what it means to build secure and seamless identity experience with an orchestration tool, this episode is packed with real talks and actionable takeaways. So grab your coffee, plug in, and let's get into the conversation with Saparja Dey.
Welcome to India's first identity podcast. Why not IAM?
Hey, hi Saparja, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hi, Ravi. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. And finally, we were able to plan this since the time we met in the Ping Identity and the Why Not IAM meetup, right? So it's been great to meet you there. And now I just want to expand that discussion here to know more about your roles, your journey, and what you're doing at Ping. I know you're product manager for DaVinci and many products at Ping. So excited to know more about your journey so that the audience would then know about a product manager's role and then aspire to take through that journey. So really excited.
Yeah, same here too. I was waiting to have this conversation, and finally we are able to make it work.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to start off by requesting you to walk us through your journey. How did you get into identity and access management space? Was this something that you were working right from the beginning, or have you transitioned? So can you please help us walk through your journey?
Yeah, sure. Regarding identity access management, this is something, as you mentioned, this is something I'm working right from the beginning. My career started back in 2014 after I completed my graduation in computer science and engineering. And then as a fresher, I joined Wipro. Typically, when you join Wipro as a fresher, you are trained into a specific domain. And that is where someone chose me to give the training in identity access management. It was not a conscious choice, but this became a genuine passion for me.
Okay.
So that's how I got introduced. And while we were in the training, we were trained about CA identity manager, CA site minder. It was those eras. It was back in 2014.
Okay.
And we were interested. A lot of us were in this training batch, and we were very excited to understand what this area of product is. And that's how I got into identity access management.
Okay, and how was your transition into this role in at
Yeah.
Capgemini?
So when I started off with identity access management as a career, the first thing that I got into was into implementation projects and into supporting projects. As a fresher, no one gives you big responsibilities at the
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
So I got my hands dirty in a lot of implementation using different IAM products and across different business domains as well. It ranges from the healthcare industry, then I moved over to insurance, banking, and then then I changed my organization as well. And then I was implementing solution for one of the car manufacturing companies.
Okay.
And that that project was life changing for me. It
Okay.
feels when I go back, because there I got the chance to work as a consultant, and I was working very closely with the customer. Now, when I worked so closely with the customer, I understood what an ecosystem of users looks like. I understood that there are employees, then there are partners, there are contractors,
Mhm.
these different perspectives, and
Okay.
I it was like 2 years into my journey into my career.
And
Uh,
I'll just stop you here. Sorry. Just wanted
yeah,
to understand this that you're talking about, right? Working for a manufacturing company and all. That was all in Wipro or any other
no.
company?
It
That was
was
pure
after
different after
yeah,
Wipro. Okay, okay, fine, fine.
after Wipro, I moved to Capgemini, and there I was working as an IAM consultant.
And what was
Uh,
the tool that you are using?
uh, in Capgemini, it was NetIQ Access Manager and
Okay.
NetIQ Identity Manager. It is known as OpenText today.
Okay. Okay.
So it was very complex. At that point of time, it felt like we were trying to upgrade a solution. We were
Hmm.
trying to upgrade a version of NetIQ Access Manager from 4.1 to 4.2 or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
And and even that seemed to be very complex when I look back at that point in time. But that moment, that project actually ignited my interest in IAM, in
Mhm.
understanding more and more
Okay.
how things work. And after that, I started looking out for opportunities because I did not want to stop there. I Because I got the taste of
Yeah.
going deep inside.
Deep into, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to understand more about the business perspective of it. I did not
Okay.
want to keep myself limited to the just the technical side of it.
Mhm.
And but to be honest, at that point I was also confused. And in fact, I remember myself enrolling into a data structures and algorithms course because I
Okay.
thought, can I become a full stack developer or something? I don't know what happened. It was those young days where I had a lot of thoughts. I want to be this, that, a lot of confusion. And then I was trying to switch, and I got some offers into I am consultant, I am developer, those kind of roles only. But then one of my ex-colleagues referred me to an open position for technical analyst in
Okay.
a product management team. It was not a product manager role directly, and it was in a product company.
Okay.
Uh,
This is after
yeah,
Capgemini.
yeah, this is after
Okay. Okay.
Capgemini,
Okay. Hmm.
and I had absolutely no idea what product manager position is about, what a product management function is supposed to do. I had absolutely no idea. I briefly asked the employer, like, can you tell me like what this role entails? And at the same time, I googled around. I watched some like YouTube videos around like what has to be done, because the first impression of product management is like managing a product. Like, yeah, but what does that mean? Uh, and when I read about it, it felt very intriguing, and I thought of giving this interview a shot. And I was very lucky that my employers also decided to give me a chance, and I joined the product management team as a technical analyst. So that's how my product management journey came into being.
Okay. Great. Great. I mean, yeah, one thing that I've, uh, one of the key takeaway from what you've just said is you should definitely not be sticking to something that you're already doing, right? And get into a comfort zone. And I feel what took you from that role as a analyst or an engineer working as a consultant to getting into product management is primarily curiosity, right? That you had
Yes.
around what you were already doing, trying to broaden your vision into definitely why is this happening, who's taking the decisions, what is causing this whole effect to happen, why organizations are using. I think definitely those things would have
Yeah.
come into picture, right? And then definitely at one point you may be busy and with the work. One of the expansion was also on technical side. That's why we thought of getting into development, learn more into development and get, because a
Yeah.
lot of time even we feel, right, where we feel that development is the one route that is going to give us treasures of knowledge, because everything was built, right? Everything was developed. Definitely as an engineer we are utilizing it, but
Yeah.
the idea came to a development, right?
Yeah.
From there it got built. So yeah, you want to add
And
anything?
back, yeah, and back in like when I started my career, a majority of my friends were also into the, like there was a trend going on becoming a full stack developer.
Mhm.
So people would try to influence me. Why are you into identity access management?
Mhm.
It's a small part of it, but you know, if you become a full stack developer, you can many avenues open for you, and like too much of noise also sometimes influence you. So that is where I was trying to do this data structures and algorithm
Mhm.
thing. Uh, and I am very thankful I tried that, because when I enrolled myself into that course, I realized that I'm not cut out for it. I do not
Mhm.
like coding. I finally understood that I am not a person who likes coding.
And that's a good realization. I mean, I keep telling people whom I do counseling, right? Try things initially, and you may be not aware of things you know, but please make sure you should be aware of things that you do not want to do at any point in time. Just try and you will get it, right? People come to me saying, like, there are 3 domains in IAM. What should I do? I'll say spend 3 days in each domain, maybe 3-4 days looking at Ping's video, then 3-4 days at the IGA videos, and then bam, automatically, at least at this stage, we should be able to know after three
Yes.
days, right, where our mind is going more towards, where our likes are going, and then that should be the journey they should choose. But it's really good to, uh, it's fine that you do not know, but it is good that you should know that these are the things that am not interested, because that's where it would hinder your growth, right? Now all of the curiosity, all of that landed you to a product management role.
Hmm.
Now that's definitely the team or the company is trusting you, but then you have also excelled. What was that journey? Because it's not like someone hired you and then you're still in that same mindset, right? You have kind of
Exactly.
exponentially grown in the company. Now that itself is a challenge, because there is no template that 10 things you should do as a product manager or something like that. So can you explain about that journey? Because a lot of people would transition, would try to get into this role, listening to you, and they would do that. But what after that? How to survive and how to grow?
There was a fundamental shift of mindset that happened when I transitioned from a consultant role to a product management role. And the and yes, it is not a very big thing, but it I felt that it is a little bit of challenge myself. So when you are a consultant or when you are an IAM developer, you try to make one client happy, one client succeed, one or two maybe. Yeah, it depends. But the number is very limited. You try to think about that perspective day in and day out. You are communicating with the customers,
Hmm.
with one specific customer, and you are trying to understand their problem. But when you move to a product management position, you have to think in a very broad terms. You cannot just be limited to only a single customer. You
Hmm.
have to expand it to an entire market. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, because you have to make your product sellable, and that only happens when a group of customers, a group of customer segment or a market segment, as however you want to put it, gets enough value from your product. So in when you move to a product management position, you no longer cannot hear just one customer. You are now talking to many customers. You are talking to many clients, customers. You are hearing their feedback, and from that feedback, you have to understand like what is a common pattern of requirements. What is the common pattern of problems all of these customers are facing? What are their requirements? And you have to draw your conclusion out of that.
Okay.
And yeah, so that was the major mindset. The other thing is the feedback cycle, I would say. When you are a consultant or developer, at least that happened with me, and that happens differently across organizations. At least for me, some customer would ping me that, I'm facing a problem. We'll say, okay, we are changing something, and maybe within a week or within 1 month we will deploy some change in production, and the customer will be like, wow, that's great. Or the customer will be like, no, this still doesn't work. They would give their feedback immediately. But what happened with product is that the feedback was not immediate. I would build a product, I would start advertising for it, I would talk to customers, I would ask them to adopt, and sometimes maybe after a year I get that feedback. And after a year, someone comes back and says this product works or this product doesn't work as per my expectation. So like that entire mindset, that's where I feel that there is a mindset shift which is required. And while it's not a very big thing, but being aware of it is very important, I feel. If someone feels that challenge, being aware of it is the way to deal with that problem. And uh, I took help, actually. I asked, I joined a product organization. Obviously, there were people, my managers. I constantly asked them for help, like, what should I be doing? Because I did not know how to do things. I took up courses as well in order to understand like product management. Like there were 8 weeks courses or 3 month courses, things like that. But that was just for me to understand how things work in other organizations. As part of those courses, I made a lot of friends outside my organization. I tried to understand how they work, because
Okay.
for every company, a product manager does different things. And also, I had few friends who were also becoming product managers along with me. So we would be talking. So those organic relationships actually helped me be better at my role at that point in time.
Okay, great, great. I mean, these are a lot of things, right, that you are trying to do in parallel, right? And I'll just summarize it for the audience also. First is definitely to have a broader perspective of the tool as well as
Mm.
the whole market that you just said, right? Because it is not something that you're serving a single customer. Your feature goes out to multiple hundreds of customers. So another quality of trying to address multiple customer queries is one of the knowledge that they should have. Then understanding of the requirement, because it's not like you find the requirement or the tool or the feature good, then you build it. It's basically going to the feedback cycle, putting it out, and then getting it from them, right? And the other thing would be networking and how you build relationships outside, inside, in your team members, in your senior, as well as external uh, people who can then help you in your journey,
Yeah.
right? Anything that I missed?
Yeah, nothing that you missed. But like as I talk to customers also, like here, when you talk to multiple customers, a conflicting set of requirements also come. So
Hmm.
that is also a challenge, because you are used to listening to one customer's problems and solving them, right? And here, when conflicting things come, how to deal with that,
Hmm.
how to come to a common ground to serve multiple people. So yeah, having those, and every day I was facing different questions. Like every day was a new challenge for me. uh, that was that kind of made me keep going also, because I wanted to do more. I was not doing the monotonous work. Not that it's bad, but I had a bad habit of not doing it. So uh, it was an interesting journey. Yeah, overall.
Okay. Okay. So it's great. Kind of, I'm just making notes of all your of all the things that you have done during your transition. Now, curious to know what got you to Ping Identity, and what has your journey been like within the company so far?
Yeah. So I heard about this opportunity at Ping, and the first thing which stood out in this opportunity was that there is no product management function in Bangalore office of Ping Identity, and
Okay.
I was getting the chance of being the first product manager, and it kind of felt very exciting because you can shape up an entire team, and this meant and at the same time, actually, like the remaining team's presence, like the other functions of like engineering, uh, like QA and other functions, were also not very broad.
Okay.
So everything was getting expanded, so that's why they were trying to expand it into Bangalore, and it felt like a very good opportunity from a career and from a leadership point of view.
Mhm.
And also, during my first few discussions with the team, I got to know that I would be the product manager for Ping One DaVinci. Um, and I was like, what is DaVinci? This name sounds very fancy. and, and then I started reading about the product. I was given a brief intro about what DaVinci does. And that kind of made me feel, oh my God, I wish I had this product with me when I was doing this, like implementing these solutions. There were
Mhm.
times in the past where it took us even 1 year to bring a certain project to go live,
Yeah.
because we're integrating from NetIQ with some Microsoft, and then different products, right? We built a
Mhm.
I have worked on projects like where I have built the front end, back end, exposed web services, and done lots of crazy things. I was like, oh my God, this feels like a dream product to work with as a IAM developer.
Yeah.
So that felt very intriguing, and I was talking to a lot of team members as well. So their commitment to the product, their thought process, the vision, it resonated with me a lot. And honestly, I decided to give this a shot. And so everything worked out well. Uh,
Mhm.
it felt like it's an opportunity which is challenging as well as exciting. Uh, yeah, so everything was combined here, and I decided to just go ahead and join Ping Identity as the first product manager in the Bangalore site.
Okay, great, great. And how's the journey been so far with Ping? I know that you have awesome leaders there. You have met few of them, right? But can you tell it about your experience?
Yeah. Uh, what amazed me when I joined Ping Identity was its broad set of products, right? Like
Hmm.
it was not just one product. There were so many products. At first, it took some amount of time to even grasp, right? What are the products which exist, starting from Ping Federate to Ping One Protect, Neo, and different other products, right?
Hmm.
So uh, that was very broad enough. At the start of my, I was involved in very interesting projects at the start. When I joined, my manager like had full trust in me. It seemed like, and he said like, you go ahead and deal with the developer experience side of
Hmm.
Ping One DaVinci, which meant like actually there was a gap where Ping One DaVinci flows could not be integrated in native like apps. So
Okay.
that was the challenge, and I got involved into that as well as other like very interesting projects, and the entire team has been very helpful. The learning, uh, the immense support that I get from
Hmm.
everyone here, and overall the work culture has also been very supportive for me. So that's how it goes around, and you can see that today, right? Like we met in the office.
Yes.
I get exposed to a lot of different things.
Hmm.
I get good opportunities. So yeah, that's how the experience is going, and every day is a different day here.
Great, great. Now, before we go deep into the product, right? I just want you to break down one of the common myth that is there floating around a lot of people, right? Who are either new or even people who have been working into this IAM space. They still feel that ping identity and ping federate, somewhere there is a confusion around what is ping identity, what is ping federate. So quickly, if you can tell us what is ping identity, I would like to ask you as a beginner, and then what are the products that ping identity has?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I had a similar kind of doubt before I joined. So Pink Identity is the name of the organization.
Mhm.
Like that's as simple as that. And Ping Federate is one of the product and one of the most popular and widely used stable product that we have. Ping Federate is a software-based product, and it surprisingly it still has a very good customer base. Though we see a lot of customers migrating into the Ping One platform, and what the Ping One platform is the multi-tenant platform. So
Okay.
Ping One platform has products like the Ping One directory, the Ping One SSO, where you have the SSO capabilities. Then there is Ping One DaVinci, Ping One MFA, Ping One Verify, Ping One Credentials. Uh,
Okay.
lo- all of these set of
Multiple.
products come. These are all multi-tenant
Mhm.
products. Now there is one other side of products which are single tenant, like
Okay.
dedicated tenant, but hosted in cloud. That is a Ping One Advanced Identity Cloud platform. Where we have the identity governance, where
Mhm.
major identity management capabilities also lie. You also have the Ping Access Manager, that is also like where it those are all single tenant based
Okay.
products, and then you have purely software based products like Ping Federate, Ping Directory,
Mhm.
and there's something also called Ping One Advanced Services where you can combine, make it a hybrid combination of both of these multi-tenant, single tenant, or software, like a combination of the offerings. So that's kind of a high level of like what the products here are.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. This really clears the doubts of a lot of folks that we have. So I know you manage DaVinci as a product manager. For someone who is new, can you please elaborate what DaVinci is?
Yeah, sure. So, Ping One DaVinci is Ping Identity's visual identity orchestration platform. Now, before I explain DaVinci, maybe I just give a short introduction of what orchestration is like. When I at least hear the word orchestration, the first thing that comes to my mind is a musical orchestra, and how the conductor of the orchestra is standing and telling each musician, first you play this music, then once this is completed, you play this for this much amount of time, you do this, like how the direction happens. So that's what the job of an orchestration engine is. And in terms of identity orchestration, what this basically implies is that there are different identity units, there are different identity services that you have. There's the MFAPs, there's like integrating with the identity verification, identity proofing, external log management, directory, like name it, so many pieces. So basically and then like presenting users with a visual form, like ask them to submit some inputs, everything. There are so many pieces in an entire identity focused journey. So the job of an orchestration product is to act like a central hub and kind of direct like what has to be done first, then what next has to be done, and like orchestrate the entire user journey. And the goal is to yeah and the goal is to create a seamless user journey for our end users, uh, like
Okay,
see,
a harmony eventually.
harmony, yeah. Right.
So now, with this product, right, what is the feasibility of this product for organizations? Like, what type of organizations or what type of organization having what use cases? Again, not going into deep, but then is it like suitable for every organization, or there are few organizations that can use this orchestration tool, or how can an organization, let's say I work in an XYZ company, right, and I'm the CISO or uh,
Hmm.
like a IT head.
Hmm.
Now that I know about orchestration, how do I decide whether I use it for my organization or not?
Okay. So I actually hear two parts of this question. One is like what type of organization is it suitable for, and then how can I take a decision whether I should be using an orchestration platform or not. First, let's go through an example, right? Like how do you decide whether you need to use an orchestration platform? Let's say you are the business owner of a retail, and you have a retail business, and your main goal is to earn money out of it. Let's be honest, that's the main goal. And in order
Yeah.
to do that, you have to ensure that your end customers have a very smooth experience when they interact with the digital platform, and
Mhm.
they they are easily like they can use it themselves very easily, be it in terms of onboarding, be it in terms of like scrolling through the products, or like doing a multi-factor authentication, anything that they go through it. And also you have to make sure like their accounts are secure, they are protected from any kind of fraud or account takeover issues, and yeah, so everything has to be there.
Hmm.
And you have to build that solution. Now when you try to piecemeal all of these together, like so many components into it, the security perspective, the app perspective, uh, and so many things, it's a very complex integration that you have to go through. You have to spend good amount of resources, you have to hire good developers who understand the requirements and who are able to actually turn this uh, high level abstract requirements into a tangible product. Now at that point of view, if you have something like orchestration, right, like you can easily, in contrast, you don't need to have very highly skilled developers. It's suited for both. It caters different type of audiences. Any type of less proficient developers can also build a flow, can build the user journey, and you can experiment the user journey, you can make changes to it runtime, you can try to get insights from the platform, like where are the friction points. So all of these you can get from an orchestration platform, and in a very short amount of time. So the time to market reduces considerably, and that should be one of the motivation. And in today's world, let's say you are there, and some of your competitor retail businesses, they are already using orchestration. So where would you want to place? Like, would you want to? You have to maintain that pace. Like you have to maintain that competitive landscape. You have to go with the industry space, and that is where you will be automatically compelled to use an orchestration platform. Uh,
Okay. Okay. And use cases, some of the use cases that an organization should think about, let's say a CISO, right? Now that you have given a
yeah.
good overview from
Hmm.
a industry and how it should fit in, what
Yeah.
common use cases are organization trying to solve here?
Yeah, so there are different varieties of use cases. Most of, like, when we talk about identity orchestration, we are mostly focused around identity specific centered journeys, like the onboarding, the authentication experience, profile management, and other journeys. But at the same time, there are other specific use cases that I have seen, specifically in retail or banking. Like we have seen this going passwordless, right? Uh, so having a way to incorporate passwordless authentication, how to make it smooth, and how to customize your journeys, how to mm, in certain organizations we have seen like they have multiple brands that they manage internally. So multi-brand solutions. We have also seen use cases around on-demand or lazy user migrations. So when organizations are moving away from their legacy systems to a new system, instead of shifting to a new system and then prompting users for resetting their passwords again, like while you are authenticating, you just like on demand, you migrate the users to the new systems. These have been very common use cases. There are identity verification use cases. We have seen use cases around compliance, because for when you are a global customer, you have to meet compliance needs from different geographies, and you have to make it very dynamic. So in that ways, integrating solutions becomes easier using platforms like DaVinci.
Okay. So one quick thing that I just want to ask when you discuss about like passwordless and migration, ID verification, right? Coming back to migration, a lot of the time organizations now what they are doing is they are trying to move, let's say, from Entra to Ping, or if they want to move from Okta or Oracle to Ping, right? Is DaVinci going to help like connect to multiple tools and then move apps and users from here to there? Is that something that is possible now?
One of the great things about DaVinci is that like DaVinci is vendor agnostic. We do not say
Hmm.
that if you use Ping, you have to use Ping only. There
Okay.
are We have good integrations with a lot of our competitive products as well. Like we have a product for Ping One Verify or Ping One Protect, but we
Mhm.
also have integrations with LexisNexis, BioCatch, ThreatMetrix, these
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
products as well.
Mhm.
And we have a very open make REST API call kind of capability, so you can connect to anything.
It is
Uh,
possible, right?
yeah, it is possible, and at the same time, some of the system we are also working on making the migration. That's a separate project. That's a separate product itself. And from a migration point of view, also, there are like easy ways to build migration. So if you were previously in some other identity management product, your entire ecosystem was there, you can we have certain migration tools which makes the migration easy to move to
Okay.
Ping Identities ecosystem, and like we are getting better at it eventually.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
Fine. Okay. So, going further deep into the use cases, right, that you've just discussed around passwordless and migration, I'm more interested about migration use cases where you have organizations trying to move out of legacy applications, right? Either they are hosted on a legacy platform or they are in a different platform altogether,
Hmm.
right? Or different IAM platform. So is that something DaVinci can help organizations move their, let's say, applications or user seamlessly instead of doing that whole activity for about 2 years?
Yeah, like I wouldn't say like DaVinci can directly help you migrate. But yes, like this lazy migration use case, like moving away the user record specifically, that can be done by DaVinci. Because you have the capability to make calls to external services. You do not have to just like remain within the boundary of the Ping identity products. At the same time, we are making efforts in like the migration from other products to Ping identity easier, because otherwise the project sometimes can go on for years. We have seen that in the past, and we have identified that as a major challenge. So that is something like we already have some solutions, and we are getting better at.
So the next question is around what is that one real world use case, right, where DaVinci has made significant impact and you have really not just the customer in general, but also that the customers very much impressed with the use case that you have solved. Can you cite any one example without definitely not naming the customer?
Yeah, there are multiple examples, and maybe I'll talk about two examples instead of one. One of the first one is about a retail customer. So their major worry was cart abandonment. So a lot of their customers were placing the items in cart, but they were being prompted after a few days. They were again prompted to sign in, They were prompted with some sort of step-up authentication, and that was kind of creating a friction in buying the products for the like their end users. So they wanted to make sure, like, how can a secure session be stored for a specific user ID. So we built DaVinci played a role into it in collaboration with 𝗵𝗏Protect, wherein we used 𝗵𝗏Protect and 𝗵𝗏MFA to determine like what based on user behavior, what is the risk level of the users, and based upon that, like it was the secure sessions were stored, and that helped in increasing their revenue to 1.5x times than what it was. And 1.5x times was just in the first month. So
Yeah.
we are not tracking it for every month, but we heard about it, and we were very excited, like how we helped the customer. The second use case where we made a good impact, it's about a fintech company. So there was one of the customers whose main business was like letting their customers transfer money from one part of the world to the other part. Now, in doing so, their onboarding process previously was a physical onboarding process, like where you had to go to their physical kiosk and submit some sort of verification ID. And based upon that, someone would manually verify it and then let you into the, like, allow you to be registered in the platform. What they were trying to do is make this entire process online, and they were trying to see if the verification process can also be shifted online. And in doing that, yes, and in doing that, first of the thing they realized was like a single identity provider cannot be used across all of the geographies. Then the next realization came into being, like, even if it's for also you cannot, like, say for US, use this use one identity provider only, because there are a lot of immigrants who come across, and it is true for all the geographies, right? Like, how would you verify those identities using a static? So the requirement was to dynamically like assess which identity verification provider to send the request to. Because constantly they were doing a trial and error, and then later on at the end they realized it had to be a dynamic process. And when they initially started off, it was without DaVinci. They were trying to understand the APIs for each of these identity providers separately, trying to integrate it in their product. And when it did not work, it was kind of a frustration from them.
Okay.
Then came DaVinci into the picture, and it had lot of this, as I was saying, like it is vendor agnostic. It allowed you to integrate with lot of other like providers. Some of, like, we have some out of the box providers, and when in case we do not have this out of the box integrations, we have this REST API concept thing. So they were able to experiment, and their trial and error process also became very simpler.
Okay.
And they started seeing, they were able to experiment a lot, and DaVinci also has this A/B testing capability. So they were able to experiment like what is working in their UAT stage. They found a lot of they had a lot of realizations which they incorporated in their product, and finally, and they realized eventually this would be an evolving thing. Like, they might tomorrow have to add few more additional identity verification providers. So automating this process, that is where DaVinci played an important role to it. And how it helped was, like, they were finally able to get off their physical onboarding processes. They reduced the number of physical registration offices they had, and that reduced a lot of costs for them. That is also one more impacting use case I can think about where DaVinci played a crucial role.
Great, great. I mean, these are really interesting learnings for all of us as well, because some of the companies could be a retail company, right? And there could be some fintech company, and people can be struggling with these kind of use cases, right? And these insights are definitely helpful. Thank you very much, Saparja, for sharing these, because definitely, I mean, getting it directly from product company, it really builds that trust amongst the audience, right? So next is going a little bit more deep inside the DaVinci's components. So can you talk about the out of the box components that DaVinci has?
I'll start with the integration out of the box integrations that we have. We also call it connectors.
Mhm.
You might be familiar because you have used. So there are around 220 plus connectors that we have, and every connector is has certain unique capabilities. So uh, some connector might have 10 capabilities, some might have 5 capabilities, and so when you combine the number of capabilities that we support with each of these connectors, it's about something more than 3,300 capabilities that we have. So it's a huge list. It's a robust set of things that can be achieved using these integrations. Uh, we also have productized flows. Right now, I think we have around 50 productized flows. The number is not very high, but we have realized, and because we are also making a lot of changes, some new features are also coming out. We realize that we will have to revise this productized flows as well. So we are building, and we want to increase this number to a higher number. We also have like our APIs. We have APIs to manage the CRUD operations of the platform. Some of our customers do want to do the management sort of operations also by customizing the experience, not in the DaVinci portal. So for them, like the management APIs serve well, and the runtime purposes like the flow execution and all also can be done via APIs. We also have recently we have launched our SDKs. SDKs are purely so that you can integrate in your native apps, or you can customize that in your web apps without having to deal with like the very low level structure of the API. So SDKs somewhere lie in between APIs and like the box platform that we support. Also, we have a drag and drop form builder where we have around lot of like out of box templates that we ship with, which kind of show like if you want to build a registration form or yeah, so things like that. So there are these out of the box components. Those are available, and like, which helps out to get you started with the platform.
Okay, thank you, Saparja. So the next one, again, further as a part of understanding DaVinci, how do you see enterprise organizations adopting DaVinci, right? Platforms, orchestration platforms like DaVinci? Are we still in the earlier phase, or do you see organizations are actually using DaVinci much maturely, or they are still in the early phase? And what can organizations do to kind of get into that maturity phase?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So I think organizations in some way or the other has adopted identity orchestration or other risk orchestration or things like that. So a very initial type of orchestration is the IAM workflows that we have, right? Like the joiner, mover, lever, like those things are automated. And when it started, some organizations started with it, and today every organization use it. So that's how it became popular, because it reduces the operational overhead that is associated with doing the processes manually. So DaVinci and identity orchestration, or journey time orchestration, as how Gartner puts it, right? So journey time orchestration, I don't think it's at 2 years back. It was at still at a like a less mature position. I think it is at a mediocre like maturity position, I would say. Um, I think in future I see this orchestration being adopted more highly by more and more industries. As I was saying, like to maintain the competitive landscape, to maintain the pace, you will have
Yeah.
to soon fall into the same trajectory. And uh, yes, I think as well the orchestration platforms are becoming more mature and mature with more capabilities coming into it. So I see that. with the days, I just see it like more organizations are adopting these platforms.
Okay. And what is Ping's vision for DaVinci, especially in the APAC market?
So, if I have to summarize and talk about a strong mission statement for DaVinci, I would say we want DaVinci to be the universal orchestration engine, which is the main driver behind the greatest digital identity experience, be it workforce, be it SIAM. Like that is our mission and vision. And for APAC markets, actually, yeah. So so for APAC markets, even before DaVinci, so as I was talking about the Ping One platform, we are investing into a new data center in APAC market, because there were a lot of customers who has a data regulatory requirements, and for whom, and we have seen those customers to be a majority of requests coming in from the Singapore region. So that's why we are investing for a new data center there. So that would mean expanding. Another thing for APAC market is that APAC market is a very mobile first market, like more than web application. The users have good access to internet, and they like to access the applications over apps, like even for buying experience, and that comes from different surveys from like sites like Statista and other sites. So APAC market is a huge like mobile first market and mobile only market. So we are also investing in making this mobile experience better. So there is a huge investment and funding for our SDK development projects, so that like we have the SDK for Android, iOS, and JavaScript today, but we in future will extend it for React Native and other platforms. But that's another major thing. Other than that, we are revising the certification programs, uh, and uh, yeah, and before that, actually, pricing is a very important factor in APAC market, because APAC market is very price sensitive in nature. So for DaVinci, we have recently we revised the pricing strategy. We have introduced identity based pricing in contrast to our existing flow based pricing, transaction based pricing. So that helps keep things simpler, and even for customers to understand also what they are paying for. It makes them easier to understand. So there are different ways that we are trying to bring. Another major that's a company wide initiative is a partner first approach. We are investing majorly in building good relationships with our partners, because partners give good insights into the local market dynamics and help us understand like what this market needs. They are much closer to the actual market than like we are. So yeah, there are like this multi separate different investments going on.
Okay. And now going back to in terms of the enabling, right? You just talked about partners. So, how is DaVinci enabling system integrators, developers, and partners in India to work with orchestration? Because this is not something that had been there for a very long time. Partners in general will be good with the market knowledge or supporting one domain, let's say the identity space, federation space, SSO, MFA integrations, right? But then you have orchestration and then DaVinci built,
Yeah.
right, to support this entire orchestration flow. So how are you enabling those partners or even developers or engineers in general?
Yeah. So our entire there's a dedicated program running in Ping Identity, and there's a dedicated enablement team in our organization who are running this partner enablement. They have designed new ways. They have these revised partner enablement programs. So that is being planned to run for all the geographies, including India and APAC. All It's a global revisit of the programs, because we have found out that there are certain gaps in this area. And making this partner uh, integration strong also would mean we want to give more access to our platforms. We want partners to be able to share this access with their users as well. We today DaVinci's trial experience requires a separate approval from the sales team, and with partners we want to make that, we want to enable the partners that that is possible. So please go ahead and request for that access. These information has to be known. Apart from that, there is the we have the ping like the ping one DaVinci community. For every product there is a community uh, which kind of has like a question, like you can ask any question and you can get, and someone from our team will always get back to you. There's a Ping Identity TV YouTube channel which also showcases certain use cases, videos of Ping One DaVinci along with other products. Uh, yeah, so there are along with the vendor documentation, and we want to, like, there are these feedback options in our documentation also, because where we feel our documentation site is public, right? So wherever you feel that you are not getting an understanding, or like, we want to hear those feedback more so that we can work internally to get those fixed point. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Again, I mean, definitely, I wasn't aware of the community as such, and I'll try to put out if there is some enablement notifications that have gone out, right?
Yeah.
So that as a link, so that people
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
who are existing partners, they should be able to know about this, right?
Yeah.
So now, with so many things going on from the market or the industry evolving, with SIAM, with fraud detection, with identity security, identity threat. How is DaVinci trying to keep up with those um, kind of projects, or I would say enablement going across?
Yeah, and in the very recent past, we know that, like, this is a very, very big problem, like fraud, uh, like what is true, what is false. Like, every
Mhm.
customer has that requirement. I have
Yeah.
hardly come across customers. Either customers are using our products, like have bought licenses for products like Ping One Protect and Ping One MFA, which are essentially the risk signal identifier product, and like accordingly based on risk signals you can use different type of MFA that comes through Ping One MFA. And we also have DaVinci is opening up the possibilities. We are integrating more and more with any other players, like who does much more, because we have more sophisticated algorithms being built into different external products as well. So we are trying to build in more out of the box integrations for those sophisticated products, as well as we have this open. I talked about that. REST API. So you can integrate, but we want to make sure, and that is one of the primary reasons, like why we kept it so
Mhm.
important, because we understand it's not a practical solution just to work with only few out of the box available integration.
Yeah.
And from an entire like organization, from our CEO's perspective also, uh, like we do not want you, like we do not just want the users to stick to only Ping. We want to solve, we want to help the customers,
Mhm.
and whatever it takes, we want to help them, we want to play a part and help them. But yes, like fraud is something uh, like most customers come up with, and like DaVinci helps in orchestrating, uh, and more we are trying to integrate with different providers in the space.
Okay. Okay. And are we going to see more of AIML being used in these kind of areas integrated with DaVinci?
uh yeah, I mean, like DaVinci, I mean, to understand, to determine the risk level, yes, the more sophistication, more
Mhm.
AIML based algorithms will be baked into Ping One product, and it's an indirect combination. That's how you can
Mhm.
think of. But and like the perspective of DaVinci, where it will come is, I don't know about timelines, but maybe in certain future we will have some way to embed AI into our platform, and like with that platform you can ask questions, and you can interact with not just with DaVinci. DaVinci is part of a Ping1. So with the entire Ping1 platform, you can understand like what are your risks, what is happening, what are the most important issues in your environment where you need to take actions first. Like so, yeah, there are different ways. Yeah, this will be integrated in our platform more and more.
Definitely exciting. Um, Definitely excited to know about this, and definitely eager to know that there could be maybe in the future sometime an point where all of this could work through prompt, right? Now, definitely, as you have started the discussion around features and enhancement, what are some of the exciting features or enhancements can we expect maybe in the next couple of years for DaVinci?
Yeah, yeah. Again, no timelines, no promises, because
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
product manager, it's my duty to tell this. So we are investing around making the flow building experience to be very simple. Uh, so we are investing in simplifying the flow building experience in terms of number of connectors that we use. So today, if it requires 100 connectors to build the flow for a complex organization, we wanted to bring 20 connectors. So you will see like connectors with multiple outcomes being baked into.
Okay.
So think we are working on an initiative like that. We are working on making the entire Canvas navigation experience better. We are trying to, we will soon enough, we'll launch some features around like validating your flow configurations, whether some issues are existing, like based on your static configuration, like if there are any issues, uh, errors, or any best practice violations that you see. Uh, Making your Canvas navigation like ability to search, as simple as search a node and like navigate to a flow very fast, navigating
Okay.
to subflows, reusable components, like those things.
Mhm.
Uh, Also, we are working on making this the DaVinci flows as scheduled flows where you can run these flows. So this has been like a very popular ask from our workforce customers, where
Okay.
yeah, scheduling. So that would make our DaVinci flow invocation methods very flexible, because now you have already you have different ways to invoke the flow. You have the widgets, you have the ping1 method, and there are different methods, right? So uh,
Hmm.
this would add this would be one more step, and we will like extend it over to on system event. So we will bake in the functions of IAM workflows, things like that, so that DaVinci flows can address those. Yeah, something with AI associated, as I mentioned. So
As you just mentioned.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's
Okay.
just like that.
Great, exciting things coming up for all the customers, right? And
Yeah.
now, if you have to summarize DaVinci's mission, I know you did discuss this in the brief, but if you have to summarize DaVinci's mission in one sentence for the future of identity, what would that be?
Yeah, I'll just say that statement loud again so that it is heard. So we want to be the universal orchestration engine, and we want to be the driver of the digital identity experience, the greatest and greatest of all the digital identity experience. We want uh, all these digital identity experience to be the securest, the most flexible for SIAM, for workforce, for B2B, across everywhere, right? Like we want customers to be able to trust in their digital freedom. That's the goal of our organization as well as the product. So that's what I would say. And from learning perspective also, we would want uh, a huge number of people to be aware of how to use DaVinci, because we have surely identified that not a lot of people know how to use DaVinci. So we will. That is also one more mission in like making this the force, the DaVinci force, be more stronger and larger.
Okay, and is Ping doing is there any initiative where we would let people kind of use more DaVinci? I know there are some product companies who have the free trial concepts, right? Like few flows and all. So is there any initiatives or anything that we can expect maybe in next few years where this part of this mission, right, you'll be able to achieve only you have more people adopting it.
Yeah,
So
right.
any initiatives around it?
Yeah. Right now, it the way like right now also it is possible, but it involves an extra step of reaching out to one more, like the relevant sales representative. But in few years, in coming 2 to 3 years, we definitely see that also being automated. We want
Okay.
that trials experience. There is a trials experience with just the Ping One platform itself. Only for
Yeah.
DaVinci, there's an exception, but we are aware of that and we want to make that. But although that seems to be a very small thing, but in the back end, it's actually a very big initiative that we'll have to run. So yes, we want to automate that as
Okay, okay, great. Because that is, I think, primarily going to help you with adoption, primarily on the developers level.
well. Yeah.
Because a lot of platforms and products that I've seen where developers use them and their level of feedback is on a different level.
Mhm.
Because from a customer, they have few set of problems that they are trying to solve, and that's one set of feedback. But from a developer, they could try any use case, right? They could be developing maybe a mobile app screen, or they
Yeah.
could be developing a web UI, right? Trying to solve their own set of problems, which could be future problems as well.
Yes.
Okay, so definitely it's good that Ping is definitely going to take those initiatives.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. We're working on this.
So now that we have talked a lot about DaVinci, I think we have almost spent about an hour talking about DaVinci. First of all, I want to thank you, Saparja, for sharing all of this wonderful information about the product, the features, the vision, the use cases, what do we see now, what can we see in the future. So really appreciate all your information. I would like to transition now more towards, uh, again, back to the product cycle, right? And also more on DaVinci, but from a growth perspective, right? So, what advice would you give to someone looking to start their career in identity and maybe work on platforms like DaVinci or Ping One or any general platforms, right? And this is going back to your consultant and product journey.
So like just I'm trying to understand. Are you talking about more about like what if someone wants to start their career as a
General,
consultant?
yeah,
Uh,
generally.
Okay. I think learning about the one of the things in which I have learned by shifting into product management is that learn to understand the problems, try to be more empathetic towards the customer problems. So if we can understand like more about, I know in majority of the time, at least that is what I have followed. Like what is authentication, what is IAM, what is
Hmm.
federation. We focus a lot about that, but understanding the business perspective of it and trying to understand like who are the users, place yourself as the user using the product. And I do understand in a lot of the times, and specifically for the Indian audience, I would say that's a problem. I faced it myself. Most of the projects that we implement, right, like which involves a certain customer, we are not very we cannot relate to the products. We don't know
Hmm.
how that product, because if you are let's say for example like Amazon or Netflix, you know the product, right? Like if you have to implement an IAM solution for that, you know how that product works, and you are
Hmm.
more motivated. But if you but if you are starting with an insurance company that is based out in the US, it's sometimes it becomes hard to relate. So try to understand like what kind of business problems they are facing, because I think
Hmm.
problem statement is a core to be motivated, be it for any role, be it for a product
Hmm.
management position, be it for a consultant, and then try to think, because that would automatically increase your interest. Try to understand from business perspective, because every business is there, every customers that you there, they are here to make money. How that, what is the business model, how are they making the money? they are using this solution so that they can make money, right? So understanding that perspective is also a very critical, I feel. Read about real world use cases.
Mhm.
And finding this information is not very straightforward, I would say, but you have to go through a lot of information, read about blogs, be it in LinkedIn. uh, uh, like I know, like in your podcasts also, there are different versions of these use cases that has been talked about. So go through that, go through YouTube videos. There is too much information available in today's world. But yes, I would say understand that platform, like those concepts first, and then go into what is authentication. Because once you understand the problems, once you understand this broad level of ideas, you will be able to relate and understand what authentication is, what identity orchestration is. You no longer have to learn something by heart. And another thing I want to say is, like, identity access management, the market opportunity is very, very high. Everything is shifting more and more to the digital world, and this will
Okay.
remain. This is going to be relevant for a very big amount of time. With AI, with frauds coming in, we have to be
Mhm.
more innovative. So this is a real problem to solve. This is a good part of the problem to be involved in. This is a good career to have in identity security. Uh, so yeah, that would be my advice. Read, like, just not get into the just not do your job of implementing some project, but also learn to understand the broader perspective of it.
Okay. Great. I mean, this perspective, even I wasn't aware of this perspective. Somewhere we have come across, like as an architect, and someone would say, okay, here is a business problem. But it is really good that you mentioned that you start with the business problem first. Even if someone is joining any industry, let's say a retail company, someone's hired in a retail company, first they should directly talk to the manager about what are the problem you are trying to solve,
Yeah,
right?
ask questions. Yeah,
Those ask questions, right? Those conversations would definitely help them. Like, this is the broader level, and then they can tag what they are already doing.
exactly.
And then when they sit, and then a use case would come, right? Like, can you build this flow? They automatically know why this flow is being used, where it
Exactly.
goes, and that motivates you. At the same time, they will have this eureka moment that,
Yeah.
okay, this is why I'm doing it, right?
Yeah.
And then that whole experience, I mean, I definitely I can vouch for it. That experience is different. Uh, yes, even I have not looked into everything, but whenever I've been given a problem statement to solve, and when I do my bit, right, I know what I'm doing. But as an engineer, my experience definitely had been is uh, I'm integrating an application. I may be integrating a directory. Why? Because the company has bought two tools.
And then
They like both the tools. Maybe they are integrating. That was my understanding, right? Because I don't know why they are doing it,
and
and we never ask questions, right?
actually, like, there are certain people, like for you it may be easier to understand, and you may understand just from this statement. It might be easier for you to incorporate, but for someone,
Mhm.
uh, there is still a lot of stigma around coding or something. They might at the start, like, oh my god, this might involve too much coding, and then I will not even be part of this project. So
Mhm.
for them, I think, like, that motivation should come from a higher level. It's good if you understand things technically directly. Like, if it's
Mhm.
easy for you, then it's good, fair enough. But if you're not
Mhm.
getting the motivation, if you are curious, ask questions. I mean, like, if you think, like, in my career, at least I have asked a lot of dumb questions. uh, I
Okay.
don't care, be shameless, actually. Go around and ask questions, talk to anybody's. And
Yeah.
yeah, in LinkedIn, right? Like, I am not like aware of all IAM concepts. Like, the quiz that you post, the brief concepts that you post, I
Yeah.
still go through it. Sometimes I submit those quizzes also, because like, quizzes are kind of gamified interest. It increases. So
Yes.
you have
Yeah.
caught
Yeah.
the main interest.
So I mean, again, that part is also just to kind of keep the curiosity on, because we may be bored at work, but quizzes definitely increases our curiosity, right? So, and then playfully you are learning something. At
Exactly.
least Your mind may not be supporting you to grow, but mind can be trained and can be tricked also. These quizzes are doing the same thing.
Exactly.
You may not be thinking, but you think here, and mind does not know that, right?
Yeah.
And automatically you become a thinker when you are going at work also. Then you start thinking, okay, there I was thinking, let me think here also. So that's what the quiz is doing.
Yeah.
So, and one of the stigma that you did mention, right, about coding. So I really want to hear it from you. This is something like I get it almost every day. If I am getting into IAM, should I know coding? Should I not know coding? So someone getting into Ping as a product, right? Let's stick to Ping. How far coding will help them, and how, um, and if someone does not want to get into learning coding, they have accepted and that they don't want to do. I mean, is it going to help them further with the growth? There are still chances compared to someone who wants to learn coding and then grow. Can you give me a difference
Yeah.
with these two paths?
You have heard me. I was one of those persons who never liked to code. I mean, like very less amount of coding. So, as you know, like DaVinci is a platform. If your organization needs less amount of customization, you can use those productized flows that we have. You can just change the logo, just the branding part of it, branding, theming, and you can use it as it is. So it can be done. Otherwise, it uh, requires low code. We maintain low code because it's not still extensive amount of coding which would be required if you try to integrate using Java or whatnot, like Angular and like, yeah, I don't want even want to get into it. So yeah, like as a product, DaVinci is not doesn't require you to learn. uh, even for a ping one product, unless you are getting into that developer experience where you have to deal with the APIs or the SDKs, yes, that would require good amount of coding knowledge. But other than that, it doesn't need actually very
Okay.
extensive. And to be honest, we have platforms like ChatGPT, Copilot, and whatnot. Like they can give you generate code for you today. So it has become much more easier now. So I don't think this has to be any worry at all. If you don't know, it's fine. Like yeah, uh, you should be just be able to have that mindset. Yes, I'll be able to. If you just have interest in that domain, if you are willing to go forward, yes, it doesn't require.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that even without coding knowledge, consultants or engineers or anyone who want to transition to IAM and also want to work in Ping can definitely flourish and grow in their journey.
Yeah,
Right? That's okay.
yeah.
So now, how can the identity community, right, especially in India, contribute to shaping the future of uh, this whole orchestration platform or anything that
Hmm.
companies like Ping is doing? What do you expect the communities to come up to and then try to uh, help in general platforms and OEMs like?
Hmm. So, yeah, first of all, I think when I met your community at the office, I felt it was doing a great job. And I was few months ago, I was not aware, to be honest, but now I'm deeply involved. So I think communities are a major source of valuable information. So yes, I like one of the and that brings me back to the previous question you asked. Like as a starter, I think join communities. That's an important part of it because you have so many perspectives of information coming in from so many individuals and experts. Uh, like the webinars, the conferences, the summits that you have, bringing more speakers, I think motivating people through all these events, gamifying like the experience that you are already doing, things like that, inspiring people to get and like do a certification like CISSP, right? Like these are very important certification and that pays off. If you want to develop your career into an architect or a CISO level, if you want to move to that leadership, and talk about case studies, maybe real world case study. As I focus, I after shifting to product management, my like views have changed. Like first, understand business. Why is someone making
Yes.
money? How to make money? Like that kind of. Honestly, that's what business is about, right? So having those perspectives, and talk about different products, like whatever, talk about your experience, like, like I started with this implementation project, and this is how I started off, and then later we face these challenges, and this is how we uh, and nowadays we see a lot of people contributing. Honestly, I already see it, communities doing, individuals doing, and I think, like, whatever we learn, if we also try to write that into a post, create a post out of it, because teaching something also gives us more perspective. Teaching is a different
Absolutely. Yes.
way
Yeah.
of learning. So yeah, I think, like, these are broad ways communities can help, and there are these industry events happening also. Like, most of the times we cannot attend these Gartner events, or the,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, something like Identiverse or Universe happening, and like, even I have not attended a lot of events in person, but if you go through certain event, you will see who are the speakers, and you will try to understand what are the list of topics they are about to
Mm.
speak. That gives you an understanding where the trends are. uh,
Trends are, yes.
yeah, Gartner Analyst is a very good source of understanding. They talk about hype cycles. They talk about what are the emerging trends every year, like
Mhm.
yeah, decentralized identity or machine identities, like AI agents is the new thing. So yeah, talk more about this innovating session about experience. So yeah,
Mhm.
everything combined, it has to be a 360-degree overview, because as I was saying, like, already in India we cannot relate to a lot of products, and so we need to struggle, we need to work hard more. There's no doubt to it. So yes, unfortunately or fortunately, that's how it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then that's where like our community is primarily, I would still say, trying our best, because even now we still do not have a template, right? Everything is done by volunteers. I mean, there are awesome working professionals trying to take out time and help me with weekly sessions. And then when the event would come into picture, right, you'll find different set of volunteers, right? Although I've been stretched, but and the sole goal that we have is just to educate,
Yes.
just to help the community as such grow further, right? And we are trying our best. I would say we are still not there, and I don't want to be there soon, right? I still have a journey, right? And talking about Identiverse, same. I mean, I've been following Identiverse from almost 2 3 years, right? And yes, going there will always be a challenge, right? And with things changing, the dynamics changing in business, and I think that was also one of the reasons that frustrated me to, like, if I cannot go, let me do something here and then I'll attend. And I
Yeah.
did that last year. Right? I could
Yeah.
not go. And to be honest, there was no IM event happening in India.
Yeah.
So the Why Not IM Bangalore that we did was the first of um, product agnostic IM event. Definitely a very small scale compared to Identiverse and any other event.
Yeah.
But the goal was to host an event in India and attend it. I mean, my one of the checklists is done along with almost 100, more than 100 people, right?
Mm.
And now that has given us a little bit of template, right,
Yeah.
to kind of see what we can do further. And then definitely your contribution through this podcast is also going to be immense, because professionals like you coming and talking in the platform, right, is definitely going to boost, first of all, the women that are there in the identity and access space, as well as people trying to transition to different roles. Product manager is an option that they will see
Yeah.
next. And now with you, the discussions around Ping and DaVinci, people will be more clear that yes, there is some platform
Mm.
which we can explore, and especially for CIOs and CISOs, they know how they can solve a problem if they've been stuck from almost like 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
They now have a solution, right? So your role has will definitely help us, kind of all our audience, right, to grow further. So with that, I would like to just end with one small question. Is if someone thinks about starting their journey, I just want you to summarize, right? Any fresher from IAM, from non-IAM, from IT, non-IT background, if they start today, right? What are the 5 things that you would recommend them to not just transition, but grow in IAM in general, in any role? Because you have worked from engineering to consultant to now working as a product manager, and then futures, definitely you'll have a great future. And you may already be thinking about, right, like this could be my next role. So and with all that, if you can just summarize all of this for anyone trying to transition into IAM, 5 things that they should be doing.
Okay. I've not thought about 5 points, but like having that curiosity, hunger to know more, to learn more, that absolutely has to be there. Try to have a short-term goal in your career as well as a long-term goal. Like have those goals and make actionable points, like how to make those goals, because just having that goal is not the only thing. Like how to bring that into action, like just write it down and iterate that goal multiple times that you want to be there. Talk to a lot of people, ask questions, like be shaped.
Networking, you had already mentioned.
Yeah,
that.
networking, and like wherever you are, like if you have a question, just let it out of your system. Don't stop it there, don't hesitate. So that's third point. I'm just trying to think. Know where you like, again it ties up to the goal, but yeah, learn how to contribute. Like whatever you are learning, try to give it back, because when you give it back, and that is when you learn more things. And fifth and a very important point is have a mentor. Have a mentor, have a good friend and a colleague. I have good colleagues who have become great friends, and like we still have those discussions.
Okay.
I had a very good colleague, like who was my senior, and like he still, and what, like more than identity access management, like he has taught me about like strategies. So
Okay.
so like because to survive in IT, wherever you are, like you need to survive through a lot of
Yes.
strategical like points. And so yeah, I think these 5 things, but having the hunger is, I feel like the way you said, like I could not go to an event, so I created my own event. That's as simple as how hunger can be picturized into.
Yes. Yeah. So again, I mean, with that, I would like to thank you very much, Saparja. I mean, this was something that I've been waiting from almost like more than a month, thinking about how this would shape out and when we would be able to connect and do this podcast, because I was very excited. And I would just want to tell you a story. Is Getting this podcast, it took me almost more than a year, because it did not start on that event. It started probably last year, somewhere around Jan-Feb, when I used to reach out to random people, right? And I was able to do a podcast with Ankan, who's from SailPoint.
Yeah.
I was able to do one more with someone from CyberArk, right? I'm still looking for people in Okta. And there were like a couple of people whom I had reached out in Ping. Okay. Definitely not to name, but then that's where my journey started. And one of them definitely being Christina, right? And not for the podcast, but
Yeah.
she pinged me one day randomly about just appreciating me. A message comes that, "Hi Ravi, you're doing really good," I mean, we were not even a connection
Yeah.
then, right?
Yeah.
And then I looked out and it was like great. And then definitely the meetup happened. That was also very random. And then talking to you, and then somehow I got the thought that let's do a podcast, and to doing it now, it took me a year now. So definitely, right?
That's a great journey, and I have heard all of your podcasts actually before coming here.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
heard the podcast about Vikas's journey, right? Like that was very inspiring. And since you mentioned Christina, I really want to thank Christina, because through her only I got to know about like we got connected. So Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great journey. Thank you for inviting me, and I wish you all the best. And you keep doing more good work in the Why Not IAM community. And hopefully, I'll see you in one of your events very soon.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There is something definitely coming up soon in the few months, right? Although it was supposed to be in June, but they'll be moving it a little bit later in July and August, right? So, and thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed
Yeah.
talking to me and then sharing your information and the knowledge across to the audience. So, any last um, line or any words from your side before we wrap up?
Uh, yeah, I think. Yeah, nothing last I want to say, but this has been a great chat. This is my first podcast in my entire career, so I'll always be grateful to this community and to you for hosting this. And while having this conversation, I got also a lot of realizations. So I, yeah, I just wish you all the best, and yeah, hopefully we both will be at a higher and a better spot in our careers, and yeah, each other soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I wish you all the best as well, Saparja. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.